Welcome back, everyone. Another half-hour discussion we've got here with Bill Berry. Bill is an expert builder. His Berry Construction has been around now for 23 years here in the St. Louis metro area, helping everybody from all the way down south, up north, east and west, the whole metro area, and even beyond a few times. I think you told me a couple times you've
had
a few jobs in the outlying areas. Some beautiful work we showed earlier. If you missed that first show, everybody, check out that first show. Was dynamite because there was a lot of great pictures we showed, some of his background, some of his stuff he's doing, and some great community stuff he's doing. He's got a customer appreciation event going on. I'll hold up the banner this time. We put it up on the wall, but we have a copy of it right here too. So check that out, and if you can zoom in and scan that, then you can get to the event. And so it's for your clients, guests, or customers. It's free. You're sending those tickets out, but if somebody's hadn't been a client, customer, they can still buy a ticket.
Yes.
$25, right?
$25. You get 5 bands for $25. We sent out over 1,500 free tickets to our previous customers, thanking them for it. We've got great food coming, food trucks, and I've got a barbecue guy coming. He has his own barbecue sauce called Smokin' Jay's.
Smokin' Jay's.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's got his own barbecue sauce, and they're coming. So it's a big food event as well. And then the bands that are going to be there are out. 4 of them are from here in town.
Yeah, I'm putting up. Everybody, look at the wall right now. You can see on the screen.
And Artemis Powell Band is the headliner. The other bands are here local. One's out of Nashville. That's Steve Oliver and Nikki Nelson. And so for $25, you come out and you see 5 bands. It's at the Rotary Park in Wentzville, so it's very convenient. The parking's excellent. We've got security that's going to be there. R&R Sanitation's taking care of our porta pots and a dumpster and stuff like that. We've got special lighting. We've rented a huge stage for everybody to play on for all the bands. So it's set up very professionally. Professional lighting, the whole 9 yards. It's a big deal, and we're super excited about it.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna throw the hat on just for that real quick there. But that Cowboy, I hope to make an appearance there. Hopefully, I can run out and see you guys there. But I love myself some good country bands, some popular bands. The lead act is a member of Lynyrd Skynyrd. Right?
Yeah, he's the original drummer from Lynyrd Skynyrd. He's the last surviving member of that band, and he's taken his band on tour and putting Lynyrd Skynyrd still out there.
All right.
So, and yes, I can put you on the spot and ask you to come out and be on stage, come out and say something.
Well, I come up. Yeah, a lot of people have me come up kind of just in between saying. I like to give people a little bit of the attribution for what they've done in the community. So I would get up there if it's okay with you. I'd say, guys, give it up for Billy Berry for making this whole thing happen. I put you on the spot there too. But
did you say you sing or no?
I blame it all on my roots. That's all I can sing, or I'll get in trouble because it sounds so much like it.
Yeah, it does.
But I've done a few. I used to sing "Sweet Home Alabama" with a band that was real popular here in St. Louis for a while too. But yeah, I enjoy that kind of stuff. I'll do what I can to be out there for sure. I just got to check the date. I'm sure I can make it. But a fun event there, everybody. I'll put that up on the wall again. Take a look there, everybody. You need to come out to this event. This is going to be a fun one. All right, well, let's jump back into some of the business. The business is what makes this all work, right? And you've been doing construction now for a long time, and then started your own company 23 years ago. We asked the question last show. If you got the end of the show, you're like, I tuned in just for this show. Now, Carter, you told me about the band and all that stuff. Give me the answer for that question, which is, what is a mistake that the average consumer makes? And that mistake is often, what is the biggest mistake consumer makes when they're considering getting a rehab to their house, a roof rebuilt?
That's a
tough
question. We don't have a whole lot of problems with our customers, so I don't.
Well, I mean, mistake they make before they got involved, would they say, "Oh"? And I'd say, how often? We'll go down this path a little bit. How often is it an issue where it's something that should be covered by insurance?
Yeah.
And then you've got to come in. And when is the right time to call you with regard to a claim that might be covered by insurance?
Well, any homeowner should have their property inspected by a reputable company. Okay. Now, just because I've been in business 25 years, my home company for 23 years, doesn't mean that the company that's been around 2 or 3 years is still not a good company, okay? But you'd want to find somebody reputable that didn't necessarily knock on your door looking for the business, although we'll do that some if we're working in a neighborhood and we'll consolidate our efforts. But you're watching for companies that haven't been in business 2 years plus. Okay, a brand new company is probably not a good idea. 2 years plus is probably okay.
Okay.
You're looking for somebody that's giving you a warranty that matches at least what the Better Business Bureau asks for, which is 2 years warranty is what the Better Business Bureau requires. We give 5 years, and in some cases we give 10, depending on what kind of type of roofing we're putting on.
Okay.
You watch for guys that are given 25-year warranties because that's an awful long time to be in business or even be alive.
Right.
So something smells wrong about that to me. But our warranties cover up to 5 to 10 years, depending on what it is. We have shingles that are lifetime shingles, stuff like that. So all that works well. But you look for somebody not only that has local references. You know, if you call me, I can give you 179 right off the bat.
Right.
But local references is a big deal. And then I would check their professional references. Okay, so say you've got somebody that's been in business for 2 years. Well, they've been buying material from ABC Supply or Beacon Supply here in town. Lansing, somebody like that. Arrowhead. There's some really strong suppliers around here, and they don't sell to everybody as far as extending credit and stuff like that. They check you out. You have to be able to. So if you're checking out a company, ask them for a professional reference, and they can call a company like that, and that'll give you a really good idea of who you're dealing with. And then I require a small deposit when I do work because I want the homeowner to have some skin in the game. I want to make sure we're proving a meeting of the minds. That's what a contract does. It proves that we know what we're talking about together, okay? And so somebody that wants to do business that way shows reputation, shows that you're a responsible company. If they want too much money up front, obviously that's a red flag. Be careful of that. That's always a no-no. And but you also check with the Better Business Bureau, because even if they're not a member of the Better Business Bureau, if they're a brand new company, they need to be joining the Better Business Bureau right away anyway, okay? That's how they'll build themselves. But you've got to check with the Better Business Bureau, because even if they're not a member, if they've had any problems in the past, the Better Business Bureau will have a record of them.
Yeah, well, that's something we didn't mention as much the first round, but I'm going to put this up on the wall for everybody here as we show off a little bit. There's your BBB, and that's that A+ you're talking about right there. So that is something worth. I'm sorry, you got to hit the button there for everybody. But yeah, take a look at that, and that's good to see also, because you've got that accreditation. 27 years now shows on there, total doing this. There now you know you're dealing with somebody. You can see the logo on there, but that A+ means
A+ is hard to maintain.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
An A rating is awfully good.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do. And what they'll do is, when you're accredited, should there be a big problem between the customer and the contractor, when you're accredited, the Better Business Bureau will step in and help mediate the problem. And they do a very good job of that. But they'll come between the two and help you work things out. Fortunately, I haven't done that very often. Haven't had to, but that service is there. So to be accredited, you have to have everything resolved that you've ever been in, that you've had any trouble with at all. You have to have a great reputation in all the other ways as well. But to be an A rated is great. A+, we're very proud of that.
Well, as I said, we put that up there on the wall for everybody to see it behind us. We'll do our wide camera shot there, but there it is. He's got an official page on the BBB, and when you've got that put out there and you've got that A+ rating and accredited, that's what you want to make sure. That's another thing that adds a little bit of that assurance that you're dealing with somebody that is accredited, that's got the backing from somebody that can say, hey, we put our stamp on these guys and they know what they're doing.
That's
they're doing
exactly right.
All right, well then, tell me a time, I'm sure you've had this happen many times in the past, where you had a client that was just in a tough situation and you had to come through and just kind of go a little bit above and beyond, and probably something you do on a regular basis, but can you give me an example of a client where you knew they just needed some extra help?
Well, as a matter of fact, I can. I had a friend of mine who the insurance company wanted to insure the roof, but they couldn't because it wasn't new enough. Okay, homeowners running into a lot these days where the insurance companies don't want to insure an old roof. Makes perfect sense, especially with all the storms we're having in this metro area, and that's continuing to grow. It's not going to slow down.
Yeah.
So it's never too late to start shopping for your contractor. Jot my name down, BarryGoodRoof.com. But and he called me. A friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, I've got a situation where I could use some help getting this roof done for some family of mine." And so we greatly reduced the price on the roof for them so they could get it done. And that's not out of the realm of something that we do. We don't try to do it as every day, obviously, but we do it as often as we can. And it seems to work just fine for us to be generous to the community, and it comes back tenfold, Carter.
Yeah, I think there's some quotes about that in the Bible. A lot of people say that
sir.
Whatever you give to help someone comes back to you 10 times. I didn't realize that. I didn't do things because of that, but I began to realize that after just doing things, I was like, I'm going to really help make a difference for these people. This kid or whoever it was. We talked about I've got 4 kids that I've worked with and helped get them back when the doctors had kind of written them off. And I thought, well, it's good for them. And I realized it ultimately became very good for me and just made me feel great about myself, and kind of the good karma thing came around. And firm believer in that. It sounds like that's worked for me too.
I am. And another really good thing that we do for the community is something that we've added to what we do when we answer the phone is people will call and they don't know who to call to do certain things. Been in the business for 25 years. I know the good concrete guy. I know the good fence guy. I know the landscape guy. I know the electricians that you need. So when somebody calls and say, "Hey, can you help me with this?" If it's not something we do, no, but here's 2 people that can.
Gotcha.
And that's a community service that we really like to pass out there, because sometimes they're elderly folks, very young folks, either way, and they just don't have anybody to turn to ask those questions, and we're glad to answer them. And I've called places and go, "Hey, can you do such and such for me?" Nope, click,
Wow.
Instead of saying no, but call this company. So it's just, I just think it's a great customer service, and that's what we're about.
Yeah, well, it goes back to that karma kind of thing. You're helping, and these are obviously people that, how do you know who has that good reputation? I have made a vow to myself kind of that I'm not going to do a Google search for somebody and randomly find somebody that I don't know. If I don't know somebody in my phone book right in front of me, I'll poke through a few people I do know to tell me who I can work with, because it's just that connection you have.
Yeah.
When you get somebody says, I put my stamp of approval, you got my word that these guys are good and they're going to do a good job for you, versus whatever you might find through whatever thing. And the internet thing is kind of become, it's a bit of a game out there too. How do you get your reviews, and how do you get ranked, and how do you get on top page of Google? All that stuff is
not everybody earns their reviews the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you we earned every single one of mine. We did, because it's hard work to do it that way, and we stand behind everything we do, and including all the advertising we do, all the referrals that we give. Anytime the community reaches out to us, we reach back. So,
well, that's good to hear, because it is one big community here. We're all trying to work with each other and help each other, and it's whoever, I think Zig Ziglar said it, whoever helps the most people will be the one that has the most satisfaction, happiness, and success. So do what you can to help other people. Along those lines, as the technology has become something you've had to adapt to, something you said kind of gave it in the last show, you talked about the last 10 years you kind of got Yellow Pages, and these last 5 years you've really gotten into the internet stuff. Yeah. And this internet, my joke has been for a long time, this internet thing is catching on. You should figure it out. But how has technology changed the business? And not necessarily just for advertising, but getting Eagle View, and there's all kinds of things out there that, and where storms have happened. How's the technology changed the way?
Well, it's funny that COVID actually helped my business.
Okay.
During that time period, it was very hard for everyone. We put things in place, and that kept us from. We had masks. We did everything you're supposed to accommodate that situation. But we learned a lot from that, because we were contacting and doing business with people through the internet more so than the phone call, more so than on the front porch, because people didn't want to gather as much. So, so we created some things where that we use extensively now, and other companies are not doing it. They soon will be, and they'll probably see this show and learn from it, but that's okay.
Right.
They will have a homeowner call in and say, "Hey, my fascia's falling off. Can I get an estimate?" And they'll say, "How soon can you be out?" Well, the other companies would tell them 2 or 3 weeks, because everybody's backed up because of a windstorm or something like that. It takes a couple of weeks to get out there.
Right.
I would ask the homeowner, walk outside, take your phone, take a picture of the damage, include the grass line in that, so I know how high it is. Send it to me, and I'll have you estimate in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that has really become a big part of something that we're doing, and but that came from COVID, and with all the new technology the way it is, there's a lot of business. I'm old school. My sons both work for me, Brandon Berry and Bryce Berry. They both work for me. They're very strong in different ways. Great kids. They've done very well, and I'm proud of them to be part of my company. But these guys, they call me the old man around there, and I was just watching, what is that called, that TV show, the Pawn Stars, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They called the old man there, the old man.
He passed away not too long ago, but yeah.
You know what, I heard about that. I think I was just watching something on Netflix about him passing. But I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, Carter. Okay?
Yeah, but, no correlation there. But
but they call me the old man because I do everything kind of old school. We do have new programs because we do have a lot more business than we used to keep us more organized and stuff like that. But man, you just can't stop me from using a pencil and paper and a filing cabinet. I'm just not going to do it. So we have 2 copies of everything.
That's good.
That's just the way I do it.
Well, that talks about how the old school. I mean, that's very interesting. You talk about. I give you a quick quote here in 15 minutes if you'll just send me a picture of what you've got there. And I make the joke. Somebody will come up to me. I get this 10 or 15 times after the game, Cardinal game. They'll say, "Can I get a picture with you?" And I'll say, "One prerequisite: do you have a camera?" And I already know the answer to that because everybody now, if you don't have a camera on your phone, and you're one of the 14 people still in St. Louis who have that old flip phone, even the flip phones. But yeah, there's your camera right built into this. So I know they got a camera, so just about everybody then can give you what you need for the
everybody
resources.
has that, and it's quick and it's easy. And I have been doing this long enough, and I've done enough of that work with my own hands. I can look at a picture and tell you what it's going to cost to do it.
Really?
I can tell you the year of the house, how old the house is, what kind of fascia that's on it, what kind of siding's on it, what we need to do from that picture.
Wow.
And a lot of times it's a quick estimate in 15 minutes. So
okay.
Yeah.
So technology, some real high tech, somebody who's been doing technology for a long time, and like even a shovel, that's a piece of technology. Yeah. But as far back as we go, you've really learned to adapt this and tie it all together. Because now you're not just the experience of the young whippersnappers. That's what they used to call me. Now I'm getting old. But back in the day when you could build a Microsoft Exchange server in your basement, but that experience that goes along with it, so you know what to do with the information. And you've got both of those at your. And
I got 2 young men growing up learning everything. I keep telling them, like they tell me I'm not very smart. You know, I guess dads don't know anything, you know.
Oh well.
But they're learning, and one of these days they're gonna realize, you know, just like everybody does, just how smart your dad is.
Right. Yeah. As you look back,
the wisdom.
The wisdom I gained from my father, I still quote him every day, and I think he's up there looking down, enjoying what we're doing here to highlight people in the community. But keep up the good work. Well, then tell me, you've obviously, a lot of people would be very interested after hearing this much information about all the good work you've done for so long. What's the process for somebody if they decide they want to hire you? What will be the steps they need to go through?
Of course, go to the Better Business Bureau, you know, BerryGoodRoof.com. Simple as that. That'll bring us up. BerryGoodSiding.com, BerryGoodGutters.com. We're all of those.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're not hard to find. You go to the Better Business Bureau, check a reputation. That's what I would ask anybody to do. And then we do that and check our references. Then they know who they're dealing with when they call us. Okay. But it's simple as a phone call. We get their name, address. We find out what it is they're needing. If it's something we're doing, we'll set an appointment with them right away. If it's something that we don't do, we'll either immediately recommend somebody or we'll call them back in a few minutes with that answer. You get a hold of us, we come out and see you. A lot of times it is dealing with insurance claims these days, right. And we're really well versed at what storm damage is. We work with a lot of insurance companies. A lot of insurance agents send us clients directly, and they don't tell their clients to file a claim. They said, let Billy come look at it first, or one of his staff, because they know whether you need to file a claim or not. Because if you're filing claims you don't need to, your insurance, you could have problems with that and have problems with getting it renewed. So it's really important to call us before you file a claim.
Well, that there now you're really talking about it, because how often is it you don't want to start running up claims? Because every time you got a claim somebody makes in there, calls in, then you start to become suspect to your insurance company, and then they might be raising your rates, and or suspecting, hey, wait a minute, these guys calling for every little thing. Only one of these is an actual claim. That can affect the way they handle your real claim, right?
That's for sure. They don't have to renew you when you're doing things like that. So you have a responsibility on your side to make sure that the claim that you're thinking about filing exceeds your deductible. So homeowners need to be aware of that, and we tell them about that. I know what insurance company will do what based on siding, roofing, gutters, based on who the insurance company is. I know what their patterns are and how to deal with them. And some of them we get along with better than others, but we get along with them all, and we take care of all the homeowners. And that's the biggest thing we can do, is because they get this paperwork, Carter, in the mail or internet, email, and it's just so complicated to make heads or tails of that paperwork. It's hard to figure out what you're looking at. So we're experts that we know have all that works. We know the local codes, like in Florissant and Hazelwood. There's codes there that have to be applied to the insurance claim that the homeowner won't know about. Then same thing in Wentzville, O'Fallon. There's a lot of code upgrades that the insurance companies will cover if you know that those are in there. So again, there's just no substitute for experience.
Back to it, yeah, that experience pays off time and time again. You want to have somebody that does know what they're doing, so that you don't have to go off and figure out these things on your own. You guys only been doing it for a couple of years. You say somebody 2 years or more, but you can't. There's no way you can match up somebody who's got 23, 27 years experience like yourself versus somebody who's only got 2 or 3 or 5 or even 10. But
no, but I was my second year in business. I already been in business for 5 years, so I had some good training before I even got started.
Right.
So I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus as far as that goes.
Sure.
Everybody deserves a shot at it, but anybody that's under 2 years, when a new storm hits, I would be very careful about hiring.
Gotcha. And that makes sense. Well, good information there. Tell me then, what we've all been through. If you've had a business, you've been through some kind of a challenge that you've had to overcome, probably made you a lot stronger. Can you give us a challenge you've dealt with and how you overcame that to make your business a little bit better?
That's really easy. When we started out in the business, the first few years, things went really well. The very first few years, and you think that everything you're going to touch is going to turn to gold.
Right.
And you don't save for the rainy day. And we went through that early on, and it was painful, but we bounced back from it. And now that's what's built us today, is the fact that we're built to last.
Gotcha.
Just like that song I was telling you, Billy Berry, Built to Last.
Billy Berry, Built to Last.
On YouTube, yeah.
On YouTube, check it out. Well, yeah, it seems like there's going to be a hurdle, some kind of challenge just about anybody's going to go through, whether that's some client that didn't pay you, that you did a lot of work on, or something that somebody said something that was crazy about you on the internet that wasn't true. Yeah. But I mean, all of those things are challenges. And we say it's not my dad made this quote to me, it's not the error, right, in baseball. This is a baseball reference for everybody, but it happens in every sport, it happens in life. It's not the error that causes you to lose the game. It's how you respond to that error, right? And how often is that something you can't just give up and roll over?
That's it. And I'm telling you, it was just a life-changing event for me to be doing so well and just thinking, and that was when I was inexperienced, as far as running a company. And it just takes a lot to learn it. And you find somebody that's very successful that didn't fail at least once.
Right.
They're a liar.
There you go. So, somebody says they've never had any failure, they are a liar. And because when you think about that, I mean, you learn, there's people that argue that you learn so much more from the hurdles, from the problems, from the difficulties, because if everything is easy, I mean, that's why I say I've gotten to where I used to be, oh man, that's just more, what am I going to do? I'm like, that was tough, that was a difficult situation, but now what's going to happen to benefit me, to help me come out stronger, right? Up. And a business like yourself has been around for so long. That's cool. That might help us to understand. Then you've got a great quote that you use that pertains here. You mentioned earlier. I think you wrote it down before. Yeah. But tell me, what is that quote to you, and why does that mean so much to you?
Just no substitute for experience, because these guys that are, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. That's the thing, okay. And that's another thing you learn the hard way, growing up, especially in construction or anything else. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. So I always say there's no substitute for experience. And my guys have been around for a long time. They've been well trained. We've done thousands and thousands of roofs. So we've encountered so many different problems that you run into that you don't see till you get involved in the job. But I can see a lot of those now before they happen.
Right.
You know, we were showing you pictures of that roof that we're doing. You know, we planned and planned and planned for that job, because going out there and working on something like that is not only a risk for the homeowner with all the landscaping and the swimming pool and the toys that they have and their sprinkler systems and all that. You know, it's very dangerous. So you have to make sure we got a crane out there that's going around and helping us keep the materials away from areas that we don't want necessarily the guys walking in. Those type of things, seeing what you need there to be preventative, be proactive in keeping things from going wrong. You've got to do it a lot to know that. So that's another thing when I talk about my sons. They're learning those type of things, and hopefully they're taking my experience, going to add it to what they're learning, and take this on someday.
Yeah, it's great to have a great mentor, but sometimes there's nothing that teaches you any better than the actual experience of doing it yourself. Even when that hurdle, I'll never forget doing a diving catch out in the outfield, took the fly ball off the palm of my glove, and they're right here. I still have a mark on the inside of my mouth. But I remembered, hey, man, now make sure you put that glove in or cover your face. I mean, there's just these little things you learn in life. Sometimes you have to learn them the easy way. Sometimes you have to learn them the hard way. Yeah. But the experience, bottom line, ultimately, is experience. It gives you that edge on everybody else out there. Well, we've only got a couple minutes left here. Incredible information here. Thank you for spending so much time staying here with us for another. It is 98 degrees outside. We keep our studio as cool as we can, but it starts heating up here with the lights and everything. So if you see us having fun in here, this is what we get to do. You talked about your favorite quote. What is an objection that's very typical? Somebody has a question. I think I want to do this, Billy, but I'm not sure about. And what would their thing that pops in their mind? Is it the deductible? Is it the cost? What are most people most often concerned with?
It could be any number of things like that. The objections come in many different directions, different phases. But it's about a no, because they're worried about something.
Yeah.
So that's why we start, when somebody calls in, we start prepping our homeowners to do the research. We encourage them to go to the Better Business Bureau. We encourage them to go read our reviews. Then we go through the process of what they're looking for, and we tell them a little bit about how we do business, the best results we find in your particular situation have usually been this or that. So when we get there, and those objections or those rejections on wanting to go ahead and move forward on the work, we've pretty much answered all that, and we've gotten them into a much more comfortable place. So the bottom line is we try to take some of the fear out of buying from a contractor, out of it before we ever get there.
There it is. Stay tuned for more, everybody. Get to this concert. This is going to be a lot of fun for everybody. You can see it up on the wall there. Go check it out, and you can see it on Billy's website too. Stay tuned, everybody. Giddy up.